This is Toledo's Symphony Lab, a behind-the-scenes look at the world of classical music from WGTE Public Media and your Toledo Symphony. I'm Brad Cresswell, and joining me today in the studio are the Toledo Symphony's principal second violin and artistic administrator, Merwin Sue. We also have the TSO's Director of Marketing, Vanessa Gardner, and we have on the phone with us today the Toledo Symphony's Music Director, Elaine Trudell. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, I have a little fanfare for you. There, that's all you get. But
that's all we deserve.
That's all you deserve. Well, you deserve certainly a lot of kudos for the program that we're going to be talking about today, because this is uniting the music of Bartók with Brahms. I sense some alliteration going on there, but we're going to focus on Bartók for this episode. And I'm talking about Béla Bartók, right? Mm-hmm. You're doing one of his iconic works on this concert, which is happening this Friday and Saturday. It's April 1st and 2nd at the Toledo Museum of Art Peristyle, 8 o'clock p.m. Elaine is conducting. The music by Bartók is the music for strings, percussion, and celesta, which people probably know, even if they don't know. They probably have heard it, a little snippet of it here and there in, a movie soundtrack or even on TV. I mean, it's been in everything from Doctor Who to The Shining. A lot of stuff to talk about as far as the pop culture reference there. You also have the Symphony No. 2 of Johannes Brahms, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But first, let's go back to Béla Bartók, and we can do like a sort of how they do a summer vacation essay?
Sure.
You can do a winter vacation or winter drudgery essay on Béla Bartók, and the title of it would be "What Béla Bartók Means to Me," right?
Oh.
So I'm looking at you, Merwin.
I would love to start with this.
You want to start with that? Okay.
It's actually the perfect setup for this, because for me...
Hang on. I have some music for you.
Oh, there's winter drudgery?
And I do have a choice here. I was thinking of... this music is kind of spooky sometimes, which is why Stanley Kubrick used it in The Shining. So I've got three different choices here. You can have scary story music, you can have spooky fairy music, or creepy ragdoll music.
Is any of it by Bartók?
No. Which of those do you choose?
Let's go with number 2, Brad.
Number 2, the spooky fairy music. There, that's nice.
Perfect.
Okay, let's hear your vocal essay on Béla Bartók.
So for me, Bartók's solo violin sonata is my Mount Everest. It is the piece that I aspire to be able to perform. And it's one of the most incredible pieces. And it's so difficult. And it's every summer I start the piece, and then it defeats me, and it makes me feel shame about my violinistic prowess. But it's such an amazing piece. There's something about Bartók that it's so maximalist and minimalist at the same time. He only uses what is required, but with one violin, he makes you do so many things, and it haunts my dreams. This is the perfect music for Bartók for me, and I absolutely love it and loathe it simultaneously. I can't wait to do the music for strings, percussion, and celesta, because hopefully I can play that one.
Yeah,
so it's exciting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Was Bartók
yay for repeated failure?
Yes, indeed. Was Bartók like a violinist, or did he have experience with the violin?
He was not, and I think he had such great relationships with violinists like Joseph Szigeti. Mm-hmm. But I think he was able to kind of stretch the bounds of what was possible, and he would ask for instrumentalists to kind of dial him back if it was too difficult, and he was very willing to collaborate, and but I think that even when you see the score for the first time, you think this should theoretically be possible. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of what was difficult was left in, but I think there's a lot of instances where Bartók had some quarter tone elements in, and then people just created a normal, like a kind of normal semitone elements just to be able to play it more easily. But, I've always wanted to do the original with the quarter tones. So
Yeah, I can bring back a cheer for that, right?
A cheer for...
Yay for semitones.
Yeah.
Yes, cheer
So
for
many people
semitones.
cheer for quarter tones all the time.
Elaine, you're there. Let's hear your vocal essay. Now you've got two pieces of music to choose from, Scary Story or Creepy Ragdoll. I don't know how to say those in French, but...
let's play the one you didn't play for Merwin.
Well, there are two of them. You choose out of the two.
Okay.
Scary Story or Creepy Ragdoll?
Oh, let's do Creepy Ragdoll.
Okay, it's a little slower, a little creepier. I mean, it is a ragdoll after all, instead of a fairy like Merwin had.
For some reason, I thought of a ragtime, and I was a little bit surprised.
No, okay. So you have to match the tone of the music here with your vocal essay on Bartók, Elaine.
Well, it was a Sunday night. The temperature was very cold, and it was raining outside, and I was listening to the beginning of this music for percussion celesta and strings. And I don't know, I just got scared a little bit. But was it me? Or was it just... Was it real? I don't know. Okay, so seriously. Okay.
Wow, that was like the best story we've had ever. You could have said it was a dark and stormy night. That would have been, you did the longer version, but that's good.
Oh, that's true. They're much better. There you go. Okay, actually, Bartók is not scary at all for me. I mean, I'm not a violinist or a violist. I'm very. What actually Bartók was one of my. British piece when I was young was Concerto for Orchestra, and it's basically it's a mix between that and some Ravel and some Rimsky-Korsakov is a treatise on orchestration. It's a lesson in orchestration, but also on how folk music and modern language, how you can talk about folk music in another kind of language than just a tonic language. You can talk about folk music because all of those, I mean, what really struck me is that he went around, all the countries around Hungary, and he, with his little tape recorder, back then it was not like an 8-track or, an iPhone, or it was, he had to bring all of this with him. And he would go to the peasant and say, okay, sing me the song your grandfather sang to your father, that sang to your mother, that sang to you. And they would go, and they say, okay, I'll go back with this. And then he had like thousands of those. And that became his material. So there is always an aspect of folkloric music, an aspect of it's very esoteric, but at the same time it's very down to earth in that sense. So it's because of Bartók we're not losing this memory of culture, because all of this music could not be written. They're just people singing that. If you listen to the Mystery of the Bulgarian Voices, they're a very popular group. It's amazing. Well, when they started this. Then everybody knows now and remembers what those pieces are. And they're very rarely in 4/4 and a valse like a 3/4 or a march like a 2/4. They're all weird rhythms, but people sing them as folk songs. So we have to adapt our own culture, which is kind of square actually. The culture we have is like our boxes are a little square, and the boxes of folk music of Eastern Europe is very, very malleable, 7, 5, 9, 12, 8, 7, 5, and this becomes a groove. And then if you go further south and you go to Asia and you go to India, then it becomes 700 beat pattern. So it's still we are basically infants in our music, the way we think about music, like the quote unquote Western music that we play. So and rhythmically, we're like the harmonically is very different, So every society has a priority that they have. If you have a different priority musically, but also socially, it makes for different things. So Bartók was able to marry different priorities together, and I didn't know. I couldn't explain it like that back then when I was like 14, 15, 16. But I just went like, oh, this is really, that grabs me. That's like, wow. this is amazing. I need to do more of this. I need to more. And then I discovered Miraculous Render, and then I just, I lost consciousness. I said, this is amazing. And this piece came later for me, this music for strings, percussion, and celeste. This was wow. Like a lot of people, I heard it in a movie, but it was not The Shining. I heard it in another movie. But I don't want to say anything because sometimes I say things and you tell me, Alain, I had it in my quiz, so I'm not going to say.
Oh, no. I don't. The quiz has nothing to do with Bartók, per se.
Oh, okay.
So you can tell. Was it the John Malkovich movie?
Yes, it was the John Malkovich movie.
Oh, which one?
Being John Malkovich.
Oh, yeah.
I love that movie.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so, and this, for me as a brass player, had a special appeal because this piece is a polyphonal as well as the harmony going on, as well as so many fugues. It starts with this never-ending fugue. Fugue, and I like music that's a little bit out of the box in the sense that it's not a standard fast allegro form, sonata allegro form. It's a very tranquilo. It starts as very slow, and it's kind of, as you said, a stormy night a little bit. But then the fast movement, because sometimes we forget, they're very, very based on folklore. I mean, it's challenging because of the meter change and so technically demanding for the string players. But all this music, the colors that he found, and one thing that really got me is the beginning of that third movement. You know, that it starts with a little xylophone there, and I always thought, why is he writing that? And one day I went like, hey, this is the what's it called, Fibonacci.
The Fibonacci.
The Fibonacci sequence, yeah.
Fibonacci is the Fibonacci number.
Yeah.
So basically, he based, because a lot of them are based around, the number, the fourth intervals, the number of gold, and the Fibonacci. So he's bringing those elements together, and the composer wannabe inside of me was super excited about, like, wow, you can do stuff like that. But when you listen to it, you don't have to think about it at all. You're just going, oh, this is good. Oh, wow, it's good music. But you can actually bring the intellectual part that blends with the folkloric part that blends with all these weird sounds that comes on. So I don't know, it's very rewarding. It fills me like with it speaks to everything that I am.
And what's interesting is it's such cinematic music. It really evokes all different kinds of images in your mind, depending on what you take from it. And I think that's why some of these directors of these movies and television shows use the music in their production because it was so evocative for their purposes at the time. It's really wonderful music. Merwin, I know you want to chime in?
Mm-hmm. I think it was interesting, Alain, that you mentioned how it speaks to the composer part of you, because it's funny because I know, Brad, you've been talking a lot about kind of the atmosphere of the music, but there's something very, and I don't mean for this to sound scary to the listeners, but I actually really love how the process of composition is kind of forefronted in Bartók. And that first fugue that you talked about, it actually sounds like DNA to me, like these threads with these very, very simple ideas that generate everything coiling around each other in this double helix and then uncoiling. And in those first few minutes, the entire piece is there. It's all in that. And I love, to me, it's a piece that sounds like composition. Yeah. And it's that opening to me is just absolutely stunning. It reminds me actually a lot of late Beethoven a little bit. That sort of.
This is me being scared. Okay.
But it also, for me, it taught me something very important. And we recognize that in Brahms as well, because we're also at Brahms on that program. But that, the foundation, when you write a piece, the foundation, like it has to, the solidity of the foundation, the solidity of the intellectual foundation of your piece will come through as an emotion at the end. Mm-hmm. It has, so, it can be rhapsodic or whatever, but if your concept is really solid and your elements are solid, that's why Beethoven is such a genius. That's why Bach is such a genius, that you don't need really to think about it. It comes, and after a while you go like, it all makes sense together. But it was all planned from the beginning. But you have to do it. That's where the real art of composing lies.
Well, before Vanessa and I offer up our Bartók stories, I want to do the first part of our quiz. And this is a Bartók quiz. And when I say Bartók, I mean two separate words like Bartalk, Bartók, right?
Perfect.
So this is a quiz for aspiring bartenders or somebody like Vanessa who mixes drinks all the time. And has reached
Right
a level
now.
of... Yeah, in fact, right now. I don't have any sound effects to go with that, but maybe we can find something later and add it in. So I've got 5 questions for this quiz. Let me pull up a little music. This is self-explanatory music. It's called Drunks on Parade.
It's pretty square.
Yeah, it's perfect for us. Okay. All right. Which of the
quarter
following...
tones.
Hang on. Now, you're going to write down A, B, or C for each of these.
Okay.
And hopefully you have something you can write with there, Elaine.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And then we'll go back and do the answers. So we give the audience a chance to play along, right? Number 1, which of the following is a mixed drink that actually contains alcohol? Is it John Collins? That's number A. Is it B, an Arnold Palmer? Or is it C, a Shirley Temple? Which of those 3, A, B, or C? Second question, for at least how many years must Irish whiskey be wood-aged? Is it A, 3 years? Is it B, 7 years? Or is it C, 10 years? Question number 3. The Long Island iced tea consists of gin... I'm like getting drunk just listening to this music. Totally. Okay. Number 3. The Long Island iced tea consists of gin, triple sec, light rum, tequila, vodka, and a splash of what on the top? Is it lemon juice? That's A. Is it honey? That's B. Or is it C, cola? Number 4. Which bartending technique is mostly used when we do not want ice in the finished drink? Is it shaking? Is it straining or blending? A, B, C. Shaking, straining, or blending. Final question. Which of the following cocktails should be stirred well to combine the added ingredients? Is it a Manhattan? Is it a New Orleans Fizz? Or is it a Mai Tai? Which of those cocktails should be stirred well in order to combine all the different ingredients? Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 questions. Let's check our answers and see how we did.
This is wonderful. I have a great deal of certainty and no knowledge whatsoever. It's like, I know these answers. I have no idea why.
Wow. I didn't even know all these answers, but I know them now. Okay, number 1. Which of the following is a mixed drink that contains alcohol? The answer is a John Collins. John Collins. Raise your hand if you got that. Okay, Elaine, are you raising your hand?
I got it. That's the only one I know because I don't drink. So I know the other 2 I can drink.
John Collins, which, by the way, is a Tom Collins, but you make it with whiskey instead of gin. Right? And Arnold Palmer is iced tea and lemonade, and although people do add booze occasionally. And Shirley Temple is ginger ale with grenadine and a maraschino cherry on top. Just in case you wanted to know, Elaine, I know you don't drink alcohol, so you might have the occasional Arnold Palmer or Shirley Temple. Question number 2. For at least how many years must Irish whiskey be wood-aged? The answer is A, 3 years. Did anybody get that?
Nope.
Totally. No, I didn't get it. I'm still with the first one that you said you added a little something in the Palmer. Do you call it a Norman?
I'll give you a...
Okay.
You get half a point for that.
No, I didn't get it. I won't get any of the other ones. Okay.
Okay. I was going to put you ahead by half a point. So far, it's 0-0. Okay, question number 3. The Long Island iced tea.
We all got the first one.
We all got the first one.
So it's 1 to 1 to 1.
Yeah, well, you all got one, but you cancel each other out, so...
As conductors and instrumentalists always do, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we won't even talk...
We call it a tie and we go home.
We won't even talk about conductors and singers. Okay. The Long Island iced tea consists of gin, triple sec, light rum, tequila, vodka, and a splash of what?
Cola.
That's right, cola. You've all had Long Island iced teas, I take it, or made them at least.
They're hard to make.
I didn't get
I've watched people make them.
Wait. What did you say, Elaine?
that. I didn't get that. I don't know what it is.
Wow, Elaine is half a point behind now.
They're kind of annoying to make.
Yeah, because there's so
There's
much
just so much
stuff
stuff in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they taste like cough syrup.
Blech.
Which bartending technique is mostly used when we do not want ice in the finished drink? The answer is B, straining.
No. Yay!
Everybody got that?
I got
Okay.
it. Sheer luck.
Yeah. Again, canceling each other out. So far, Merwin and Vanessa are ahead by half a point. Okay, which of the following cocktails should be stirred well to combine the added ingredients? The answer is A, a Manhattan.
Oh, no.
I got it.
Vanessa and
Vanessa
Elaine
wins.
both got it.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sheer luck. I don't deserve it. I just said whatever letter.
It's okay. You didn't win the quiz. You just
Yeah.
got that point.
Yeah, Vanessa wins by half a point.
Yay.
Congratulations to Vanessa. We knew you were going to win this quiz anyway. I mean, you were talking
Good job,
about
Vanessa.
your Instagram account is all about booze, right?
I may have mentioned that off the air, Brad.
Well, you should say it's not your personal Instagram
It's not
account.
my personal Instagram.
Yeah, and people will have to figure out what it is.
It's your
so
alter ego.
That'll take a while. So now, Vanessa, since you're the winner of the quiz, between you and I, you have to go first with your Bartók story, and you get the scary story music because nobody wanted it. So let me start that.
I mean, this is going to be a really short story because, as Merwin said, Bartók only used what was necessary, and I don't think that included very many French horns. Actually, the only piece I think I've ever played by Bartók is Concerto for Orchestra,
Yeah.
and I've only performed it once, maybe twice.
As a French hornist.
Yeah. Or as anything.
Yeah. As anything. As a bartender.
But I did get to perform it at the Hat Shell on the Boston Esplanade, which was a really great experience.
At the hot show?
The Hatch Shell?
The half shell?
The
Wait,
hat-
I am so confused. Where did you do it?
The Esplanade, where the Boston Pops plays at the Hatch Shell.
Oh, the hatch shell. Yeah, I used to live in Boston,
Yeah,
so I
it's-
should know that.
Anyway,
Is that your story?
that's my story. That's it.
Okay.
It's a great piece. I love playing it, but I don't have a whole lot of experience with other Bartók repertoire.
Here's my Bartók story. Now, this is obviously a reference to The Shining, right? Because they use this at the beginning of The Shining. This is that old Judgment Day chant that's performed here in the original version, actually.
We did an entire episode on the Dies
Yeah,
Irae,
we did.
Brad, remember?
So we're not going to talk about Dies Irae. That's just in the background, right? That's just setting the scene for my story, which I think I've told you before. I don't know if Vanessa has heard this. But when I used to work in radio at WMIC in New York, they would give us these sheets of paper with the various live reads that we had to make. It was like the underwriting, WMIC is supported by blah, blah, blah. And so they had a concert they were promoting, and we had to say, with the music, featuring the music of Beethoven, Haydn, and Bart K. Right? It was capital B-A-R-T space capital K. Bart K. And I looked at that and I was thinking, Bart K, is that like a DJ or something? Or is that like Bart K. Simpson? Or is it... And finally, my friend, who is also an announcer, was looking at it, and he was not a music guy, or a classical music guy, but he was like, I think they meant Bartók. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But he had already recorded it as Bart K. So
Did they air it?
It aired as Bart K for a while, and then by the time we figured it out, because I had to do a live read, but they also had it recorded, right?
Oh, jeez.
So we went back and had that re-recorded. But for a while, people were, thinking, I can't wait to go see Bart K.
I wonder if we can find that soundbite on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to recreate it, right? Anyway, I'm
Just
giving
yayed your
myself
own
a cheer.
story.
Yeah. Let's take a 360 here, or a whatever degree turn, maybe a 90 or 45, and talk a little bit about Brahms and the Symphony Number 2. Who wants to jump in with their Brahms? Well, here's Vanessa is like, I can talk about Brahms, right?
I can talk about how he wrote the second movement for horn and H, which is just mean, but it is a very beautiful horn solo.
Now, explain what you mean for the horn and H.
Horn and H is the German for B natural. So if I see an F on the staff, I play a B natural. And it's complicated, B natural below the F. It's complicated in my brain because I was told there would be no math. And there's all sorts of sharps, and it's a funky key. So, but once you get it under your fingers and, under your brain, it's one of the most beautiful horn solos, I think.
But also the horn is either in F or in B flat. So it's either a semitone or an augmented fourth, which is the furthest you can be from the note from your instrument for transposing. So it's very difficult. Yeah,
it hurts my brain.
I don't think people realize the amount of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, to make this music come to life. What the instrumentalists have to do, like you said,
writing note names.
Yeah, you have to do the transposing and figure this and that out and all that stuff.
Well, it's only tenor clef plus 7 sharps.
Better than alto clef. Or basically, you can do any clef you want these days.
Yeah.
But it's funny, though, when, sometimes publishers will create a set of already transposed parts. And as horn players, we lament having to transpose. But then when we get the part that has already been transposed for us, it looks so bizarre that we end up playing off of the original anyway.
Because you're used to the original. And now, explain why it is that some instruments have to transpose. Like the clarinet has to transpose depending on what key it's in originally, and other instruments have to transpose, like the horn, obviously.
Alain?
Yeah, I was talking to you, Alain.
Okay. So if your instrument, when it plays the note C of your instrument, it sounds like a B flat, then to get to the same C as the piano, then you have to do everything one tone higher. If when you read a C, it sounds an F, then you have to do everything, either a fourth or a fifth apart if you're going up or down, and so on and so on. If it's an A, but some of those instruments, because the sound or it's because the mechanics of the instrument is because how much tubing you want to do. The only instrument that is not in C, that is a non-transposition instrument, is the trombone. It's an instrument. It's an instrument in B flat, and when you read a B flat, it is a B flat. So,
but I actually want to dig into this just a little bit, because I can understand this for something like the clarinet, because the instruments change, right?
They're different keys.
They're actually different instruments.
Well,
right?
horns used to be different horns. We used to have a crook. Which I wish sometimes we still had, so I didn't have to do the math.
So is this just vestigial? Like, is this just like a kind of like it traditionally used to be that way for the horn, because now it's no longer a different instrument.
Right.
Or maybe it is. I think the police are coming and telling me that I'm wrong.
They're coming to get us. They're coming to get Elaine.
You used to be able to put a crook in for whatever key the piece that you were playing was composed in. But, then the instrument itself evolved. And ain't nobody got time for that anymore. So,
wait, was evolved upon?
I don't know. Creation of the valve. No, seriously.
No, like evolved.
is the creation of the valves, because before that it was just a piece of tube. So your piece of tube did pa 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 pa. Okay, then B flat. Pa 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 pa. You take another one that's longer, another one that's shorter, or one that's longer, depending on the different movements, even of a symphony or a piece. But with the valves, you just play one note, and then you can press the valves to come up and down. Same thing with the trumpet.
The valves, not the vowels.
Oh, that was my evolves joke.
I thought you were saying the...
I'll give you a buzz for that one.
Well, but
actually, what's really interesting is that Brahms was not a big fan of the valve instrument, as you
That's why he wrote the second movement in H, to punish us.
Exactly.
To punish the evolution of the horn.
Nice segue. We've come full circle.
Also, I think he didn't like the guy that was playing first horn at the premiere of his second symphony.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did it sound anything like this? The only instrument that is in B flat that doesn't transpose, right?
And
That's-
now you hear why.
That's going on my next quiz.
But you mentioned evolution, and it's one thing that's kind of weirdly in common about both of these pieces is that the first lines have everything you need to know about the entire symphony. Like just those little tiny motives, the D, the re, do, re, and then the do, re. That's the symphony. Brahms takes these little tiny things, this descending semitone, rising semitone, and then those thirds. That's the symphony. He makes everything out of those little DNA units. It's just stunning.
Yeah, it's stunning, or it's, kind of lazy. It's like, I mean, Elaine, you can talk about this. You're a composer. Composers have technique and things they can rely on to make it work. I think the genius lies in what they do with the material.
The exact opposite of lazy. It's like lazy is Long Island iced tea. You throw everything in there and something's going to stick.
Excellent.
Brahms is one of the most intimidating of composers.
Oh,
I mean, it's so sound and solid. I mean, he was completely intimidated by Beethoven. That's why he didn't write that first symphony before.
Yeah, 20 years.
He was much older, right? It took 20 years to finally said, okay, I have the guts now. It's going to come out. And after Beethoven 9th, everybody went like, oh, well, I'm not writing anything, so I'm not writing a symphony. And they started saying, well, symphonic poem, so symphony, something like that, but something of true, like, how could I say, majestic importance. Brahms came in and he said, okay, I'm ready now. But that took a lifetime of effort. And also Brahms, I mean, you see his DNA is Bach, Beethoven. So all that they have in common is the treatment of the material, not melodies over melodies. So you have different styles, right? You have Dvorak and Tchaikovsky. They're basically the guys that can write a tune, And then you have Beethoven and Brahms, and also they write the most beautiful tunes, but it's more like, how much can I do with I like to say Beethoven can write a symphony with like a match, a piece of duct tape, and I don't know, a glass,
MacGyver,
He's the MacGyver of the symphony.
Classical MacGyver.
And you come back and there's a cathedral and say, what happened? I left for 10 minutes, So Brahms is a little bit like that also. Speaking of that, that's the third horn that plays that. When Vanessa was saying that's just because Brahms wrote all the high parts in the third horn, not in the first horn.
Is it an H?
No, that one's not an H.
No, that one is in D. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not even going to get into that.
I wasn't talking about that solo, but that is also very fun to play.
When the first one plays fa la la, but when you get to the really high part, so si, that's the third horn.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I have an incredible story one day if you want about that. It's a tad long, but it's
okay.
really good.
Okay, well, let me get you some music.
We can hear it over a drink sometime.
Okay, let's hear the story.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. So when I was principal trombone player in a European orchestra of renown, which I will not name right now. we had a particular maestro who was a particular character, was the most incredible interpreter of Brahms. I learned my Brahms and my Strauss with him. It's incredible. And we were playing the second of Brahms on tour. We played on tour. We came back. We didn't rehearse a lot because, it's a piece we know very well. And we go on tour. And then we played a show. We used to do Friday for radio, Saturday for radio and television national. So we play the concert. And it's okay. Everything goes okay. Then, but then we get into the middle of the first movement. And the development of the first movement, the horn player, the principal horn, again, the horn comes in 2 measures early, So, but he only touches the note that goes poop, and the conductor looks at him and says, don't play there. and then he does a little turn around with the strings and gives them a cue for 2 bars later. Honestly, nobody would notice anything if the strings would have followed the conductor.
Oh.
So the strings, they all went their separate ways, and it started to be a bit of a goulash, It was
kind of like the music we have going on right now.
So the conductor looked at the orchestra I was conducting. He didn't really he went like, oh, that's enough for me. He cut the orchestra. We finished. We're on stage. We're playing for live radio across the country. And he turns around And he says, well, that's what happens when you have a management that doesn't give you enough time to rehearse, send you on tour. And he starts with this big complaint about, and we just played it on tour and it was fine. He starts, I don't know, I guess he had a beef with somebody. Anyway, he turned around and said, okay, we start again. So, we had to have the first movement, a third of the first movement dead. So we start again. So, re, da, da, di, di, la, re, mi, fa, mi, re, la, si, do, re, fa, mi, la, re. Then the third horn comes in. Now you have to know that the third and the fourth horn got in the orchestra about 20, 25 years before. And a lot of people played 20, 30, 40 years very well. But those people were not that great. They were part of a political party that placed them there because they were part of a certain party that was very much to the right and something like that.
Oh, gosh.
And so they were placed there. They were not very good, but they could get away with stuff when we didn't play something that was very exposed. But you cannot get more exposed than third horn and Brahms. So he plays it's terrible. And of course, I'm sitting right behind the bell of that person. I'm going, oh my God, there's a small animal that died. So I'm thinking, oh my God, that's too bad. I felt for him.
That's too bad.
Stopped. The conductor stopped again.
Oh no!
And he turned around to the public, and he looked at them like, waving his hand like, well, whatever, I don't know. And then he turned around, looked at the player with the hands like, well, can you do this? And he turned around again to the public. Said, we try again.
Oh my gosh!
We're all live on radio.
Oh my gosh! So, my heart is racing. Again.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, we all left a year or two of our careers that night on stage.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, that's our show. We'll see you next week.
That needed the scary story music, Chad.
Yeah.
We need to take the entire
Although,
thing.
I don't know. I think that this music fits pretty well.
Well, so here's the question I have. Had Brahms just wrote for horn and F, would that have happened?
But my story is not finished.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my gosh.
There's more.
Yes, but wait.
But wait, there's more. Because then there's going to be a set of Gins and Ice right at the end. Okay. So we play again. We get through, and I'm thinking, like the big trombone scales at the end. That's one of the big trombone exposed thing. I said, I hope I don't miss, because I play in the last 20 seconds of the entire symphony. I said, what if I miss my note?
I have to go back and start over.
Like 40 minutes before, I said, anyway, so we all, like I said, we all left a year or two of our careers on stage, and the stress of that was another era. Yeah, you don't.
Wait, did you miss the note or no?
No, I didn't.
No, because...
And there's a recording of the next day that exists, commercial recording.
Oh my gosh.
And no, that's fine. So wait a second. So we finish, okay? And there's no Kanye West in my story, but it's a good story. Okay, so we finished the symphony. Half the hall is going boo, the other half going bravo, and he comes back a bunch of time on stage. He's relishing in this the conflict, and then he goes, and then the manager of the orchestra, of course, is running after him. He's running away. Then we have to play a TV show the next day. You know, so the next morning the principal horn resigned. Because he said, I'm at the fault of all of this. And we're going, no. It happens. It's okay, No, I was dishonored. But, oh, no, come on. So the assistant has to play principal. And then we have to do a TV show. So we get on the TV thing. So the first half was actually a Bartók violin concerto. So we play the first half. Everything's okay. Then they interview the conductor. He was wearing like this green velvet jacket that day. I don't know why he put that. It was a jacket he liked. And then
it was a golfing jacket. He was drinking an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, no. I think it was a Greg Norman. But he was. Then the interviewer asked him, like, "Oh, maestro," and everybody's uneasy. Everybody knows what happened the night before because we didn't know, but it's live on radio. So while we're stopping, the people have to make some time on the radio. So it became, trouble in so-and-so city. Then, they stop again. And, can they do this? And then,
like a sports broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. So the next day we play and they ask the conductor, the interviewer doesn't know really what to talk about because everything is going to be bad, whatever subject, So he says, maestro, nice jacket, He says, it's green. It's the color of hope.
Hope springs eternal.
We played and we made a record that day.
Oh, my gosh.
So this record is commercially available?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What label is it on?
I don't want to tell you right now. Because then I have to tell what the orchestra is, and
Yeah.
I guarantee you people are Googling maestros with velvet green jackets right now.
If we guess who it is, will you tell us? Like if it was, Concertgebouw or something like that, or Bernard Haitink, or,
Oh, he would never be
Rest
in
his
that
soul.
way.
What's the next part of the quiz?
Well, we can do that. We can go to the quiz. We'll bring up the music here. We'll just keep it going. All right, 5 questions. Our Bartók quiz continues.
Oh, this was about Bartók?
That's very loud.
Bartók quiz. Okay. Which of the following liquors is distilled from fruits, especially from grapes? Is it vodka, gin, or brandy? A, B, or C? Next question. Which ingredient in the vodka-based drink Cosmopolitan gives it the pink color? Is it strawberry juice? Is it cherry juice? Or cranberry juice? A, B, or C?
Can we call it?
Oh, I make the best
Cosmopolitan?
Cosmos, you guys. The best.
I'm sorry, Elaine, what'd you say?
Can it be the microcosmopolitan?
Not when I make them. They're very
Yeah.
macro.
So when Bartók makes them. Or Liggity. Okay. Liggity split. All right. Which tool can be used by a bartender to crush fruits? Is it a jigger, a muddler, or a mister? A, B, or C? Okay.
Too easy.
And those are all things. Well, easy for you, right? Which kind of soda is used to make the Americano cocktail? Is it ginger ale, club soda, or Sprite? A, B, or C? And finally, to which of the following drinks is vodka added to make a hairy navel? Is it a slippery navel? Is it a buttery navel? Those are sort of the same thing, I know. Or is it a fuzzy navel? Okay. So let's go back to the first question on our quiz. Which of the following liquors is distilled from fruits, especially grapes? The answer is C, brandy. Everybody get that? Did you get it, Elaine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
So everybody got that. At 1 point each. Okay. And a brandy, I wondered where the name came from, so I did a little research, and this is why I was thinking of Dutch orchestras and conductors. It's a Dutch drink. It comes from the Dutch word brandewijn, or burnt wine, which refers to how it's made. Okay. See, it's an educational podcast.
Dutch people are very calm. They would never do something crazy like what I said.
Yeah.
No, true. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's an amazing story. I want to hear more when we finish the quiz. All right. Number 2, which ingredient in the vodka-based drink, the Microcosmopolitan, gives it the pink color? It's not shellfish. Is it strawberry juice, cherry juice, or cranberry juice? The answer is
Cranberry juice.
C, cranberry juice. You got it right. Everybody get that right?
Well, I guessed I got it right.
Yeah, you guessed you got it right. Okay, we're going to switch up
Though
the
I
music.
will say
all the time.
watermelon
That's
juice
what-
is also a refreshing alternative.
Oh, watermelon juice? Wow.
And it is also pink.
Is that on your Instagram account? Yeah. Advice from Vanessa on making the Microcosmopolitan. Okay. Which tool can be used by a bartender to crush fruits? It is a muddler. B. Did everybody get that?
And if you don't have a muddler, you can use a wooden spoon.
So Vanessa got it, but Elaine
I
did
did
not.
get
Did you get it, Merwin?
Yeah.
Okay. So Vanessa and Merwin are both ahead by a point.
Muddling
Well,
is pretty much what I do for a living.
the jigger.
That was a good one.
The jigger is a measuring utensil, right? And the mister, I didn't know what that was, and I was like, Mister, or Mr. Man, that has to be, phony, but it's actually like a little bottle that sprays a fine mist.
Yeah.
The
The aroma
the
of drinking a cocktail is just as important.
olfactory enhancement, I
Exactly.
believe they call it.
Very
yes.
nice. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm not sure about this one.
which kind of soda is used to make the
Yeah, I was-
Americano?
Totally guess. Yeah.
It's B, a club soda.
I thought so, and
Yeah.
I second guessed myself.
So wait, who got it?
I got it.
Merwin got it? Elaine, did you get it?
No, I didn't get it.
Merwin might win this quiz.
I think
Okay.
Finally.
Final question. Yes. To which of the following drinks is vodka added to make a hairy navel? The answer is C, a fuzzy navel.
Yay.
Okay, so if you add alcohol to it, you get a hairy navel. Elaine, do you have a hairy? No, did you get a hairy navel?
No, I got it. I did the right answer.
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
I know. I'm avoiding. I'm avoiding. I'm not pursuing this, but I got the right answer.
Okay, did you get it or no?
I'm not engaging.
You don't have to engage. Just tell me if you got the answer.
Yeah, I got the answer.
Okay. Elaine got the answer. Everybody got the answer. So the winner has to be Merwin, right?
Of that
Merwin,
round.
if you guys can compose yourself, we can keep this in the podcast, okay?
Okay.
All right. I have some music in the meantime if you want to. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
All right, Elaine, it's up to you to save us at this point. Anything else you want to say about Bartók or Brahms, for that matter? Any other juicy stories you can tell us?
Actually, I can tell you something that's incredibly serious.
Let me take out the drunk music then. Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
Thanks. Because the way I build a program is I thought that, in those times that we're kind of moving from an uncertainty, with the COVID and where we live, the other parts of the world was very terrible, but where we live, we're moving from uncertainty to hope. And I built a program that way because I thought, let's go deeper in the things that kind of, scares us or makes us wonder. And like in the beginning of the Bartók, people will feel like, it's like we're digging deeper in our emotions a little bit. And the program goes forward with the folk music in Bartók and in Brahms, because this is basically his happy symphony, the second symphony, if I may say so, if I may express myself like that. So I'm going from that to jubilation with the end of the second symphony. So that's the way. So if people, when you listen to it or when you're coming to the concert, you will experience kind of a crescendo of emotion going from maybe what we've been feeling for a while to where we think we're going.
And it ends with a trombone, right? Can you have Garth do this instead at the very end of the symphony?
You know what I think is so interesting whenever there's a Brahms symphony and the trombones practice their part in the break.
You say that like they don't practice otherwise.
No, but they take it so seriously.
Oh, during the break, yeah.
Yeah. That entrance where they have to sit there for 40 minutes and they everybody else is taking a break and having a drink of water and those trumpet players are on stage practicing.
I must intervene on behalf of my people.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just think it's kind of funny.
I know, but to make our public understand, let's do an analogy.
Okay.
We are the closers, okay?
The
pitcher that comes in for the ninth inning. If you send the closer that hasn't played in the bullpen at all, it's not going to go well. You need to throw some pitches. And the only time they get to do that
is during the
break. Because the rest of the time the orchestra is playing and they're not playing. So that's why they do this. And there's a reason for it. It's not just because there's a stage and there's three of us, let's have fun. It's more like we need to play. You need to throw a little 101 mile an hour ball that hits the mascot. And then, you focus again. And then you're good to go. Otherwise you're going to wind up like Bull Durham.
That may be the best sports orchestra analogy.
Although I have another analogy. If we're going from the story that Elaine told us, they were more like cleaners than closers, right?
Perhaps.
Come clean up the mess, as it were.
Oh, man.
Actually, this symphony, it's super rare. The trombone plays in 3 of the 4 movements. Mm-hmm. It's the only one. No, it's not the only one. Sorry, the third also. But it's very rare. Very often in the Romantic era, like Beethoven's Fifth, you come in the last movement, Brahms' first last movement, the fourth last movement. But in the second, we play almost right off the top. There's a nice chords just with the timpani and the trombone. So all the trombone aficionados, you will be able to hear a beautiful section right in the first 2 minutes of the symphony.
Wow. Yeah! That's for all the trombone enthusiasts out there. Wonderful. Well, we're running out of time. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to our little Bartók Brahms extravaganza today?
I will just say, if you are at this concert, you will be among the first to hear about next season.
A little teaser there,
A little teaser.
Yeah, nice. I'm sure that we'll hear about next season on this program as well, eventually.
Very soon.
but we'll give the first exposition to the ticket goers to the Bartók concert. I should mention it is this Friday and Saturday, April 1st and 2nd at the Peristyle at 8 o'clock p.m. Elaine Trudel conducting the Toledo Symphony. We're going to hear Béla Bartók's music for strings, percussion, and celesta, and we're also going to hear the Second Symphony of Johannes Brahms. Wonderful pairing. You can find more information about that at toledosymphony.com or just call up the box office at 419-246-8000. This program is a production of WGTE Public Media in collaboration with our sponsor, the Toledo Symphony, with generous support from the Rita Barber Kern Foundation. You can download episodes of this program as a podcast by going to our website at wgte.org/lab. You can also subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple and Google, as well as Spotify. And don't forget, you can check out all the upcoming events at the Symphony by visiting their website. It's toledosymphony.com, and their various social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find the TSO's streaming platform online at stream.artstoledo.com. My thanks to Elaine Trudel, Merwin Sue, and Vanessa Gardner. I'm Brad Cresswell, and you've been listening to Toledo Symphony Lab from FM 91.